coming to the final workshop of today. It's been a fantastic day so far, but we have another powerful workshop coming up from the One Youth Futures. Mark is from South London, and he grew up witnessing the growing negative tensions between his family, friends, community, and the police in 2014. And in 2014, following a particularly challenging confrontation with the police himself, he asked why and other young people could not sit around a table with the police and speak to each other as human beings. From that moment, the project was born and expanded in partnership with the Tutu Foundation and their experience in reducing community conflict through their Conversations for Change program. It is intended to facilitate local forums for discussion and engagement between police and the local youth community in order to create better understanding between communities and particular young people and the police. The Roundtable project embodies the philosophy of Ubuntu, an African concept that has many meanings but can be understood mainly in terms of the capacity for an individual to express compassion, reciprocity, dignity, humanity and respect. It has gained global recognition through Archbishop Desmond Tutu and was also adopted by Nelson Mandela, who described Ubuntu as a way of life which underpins an open society. In May 2016, a pilot project took place in Camberwell, London. This was externally evaluated by Dr. Cole from Sheffield Hallam University, with the recommendation that it should be undertaken as a regular event in the community, a forum where local youths can meet the police in debate concerns and ask for answers to policing issues and events, as well as to dispel myths and misconceptions about policing and youth in communities. Please welcome Mark Murray onto the floor for the event.
We are a South London-based charity. We run a youth club and we focus heavily on youth in gangs and at risk. We also focus on working with kids who are out of school, back into school and getting employment. We started off 9 years ago. We had a little youth club of our own that me and some friends started. We had over 300 kids that came every week on a single day. We had kids from all different areas, even conflicting gangs came down to the same club. There's been a huge rise in knife crime lately, and our communities have taken a very drastic hit due to that. I've been the victim myself of gang violence. I've been the victim of, injustice from the government system, everything you can think of, been through it. But I kept striving. I worked with many great people over the few years, and I had a negative interaction one time with the police in Brixton, me, my brother, and my friend. And, we was very, very badly handled, bearing in mind we had done absolutely nothing wrong. But I was even being educated is key. And I am smart enough to understand that not all police officers are bad. And I'm also smart enough to understand that all gang members or drug dealers or young people are not bad. And I devised an idea to come up where we get the opportunity to voice our opinions. We get the opportunity to speak and help change practices and the laws that affect us and our communities. So I came up with the Roundtable. It is an opportunity for officers and young people and community members to sit in a room such as this one. So I would love to introduce my colleague, Kieran, to be on the front.
Thank you very much. So this project, the Roundtable, with meeting with police across 10 London boroughs, has been a tremendous experience, and I still feel honoured that Mark and the team reached out to me to be a part of this project. I've been the lead facilitator on the project, and it's a... Am I in it? Yeah. Hello. Check. It doesn't sound really different.
Oh, hello there. Oh, you should not have given me a mic. I love the sound of my own voice, man. So, no, thanks. It really does make a difference. So yes, it was an honor being a part of this project. It's a project that's very close to heart because, just as Mark was speaking, I've had my own run-ins with the police, and I must admit some have been tremendously pleasant. Like literally interacting with a police officer and feeling better about my day, feeling better about my community, just feeling good. And then in some other cases, just the polar opposite, like the complete opposite, feeling like I'm not a part of this community, feeling isolated, feeling victimized, criminalized, etc. So I've had both the experiences. So when Mark came to me with the idea that we're gonna bring police and young people together, instantly I thought, this is going to be interesting. And believe me when I say it was very interesting, because not only did we bring these two groups together, but the groups also brought the prejudice that they had and carried with them into one space. So you had young people thinking, "Oh yeah, police, I'm not coming," and we're like, "No, this is an opportunity to share your views." Ah, yeah, I'm coming. So now it's gonna be, I'm gonna grow them, sort of thing. And then we had the police being very skeptical about coming into that space, but willing to do so. And they also came with their own ideas about young people being up to no good, just very negative ideas they came into that space with. Thankfully, we had a series of activities that was just able to break this barrier down. And by the end of the project, I must say it was a true phenomenon to witness young people and police in full-blown conversations as if they're friends and they've known each other forever, playing table tennis, playing pool, and laughing together. When before, if you just observe the room, you would have the police in one corner and the young people in the other, literally. So it was beautiful to witness that, because it reminded me that we can affect change. Like it's possible, right? And literally hearing Mark speak just a second ago just reminded me that he's a symbol of hope. That even some of the young peoples that are currently going through a turbulent phase and getting themselves caught up in things they shouldn't be, Mark and myself represent hope. Like a young person can come out of that, can transform his mind and himself. And this is what the police learn in this workshop, that not all young people are bad, and a lot of young people that's going through a phase that they're making decisions that aren't the best for them and that aren't the best for the community, but there's a lot of reasons why that is, and we explore that together. And today we hope to explore some of that with you. We'd like to share some of the activities that we've also done to have the young people and the police bond. First thing I would like to share with you is the Ubuntu skills. This project was basically found at the core of it is the Ubuntu skills. I heard Barack Obama speak about it, and Nelson Mandela being an ambassador of this message. And what it basically means, we had our list together, and it's being impartial, which you can see was important. We all had young facilitators, and at time the facilitators who's had bad experiences with the police, hearing the police say certain things, wanted to challenge them, but they had to remember that it's about being impartial and not being on any side and being respectful. We have young people filled with all this tension from the experiences that they've had, the interactions they've had with the police, the injustice, the stories that they've heard. They've had all this built up inside of them, but we had to remind them it's important to be respectful. We're going to have a conversation and it will be respectful. We had to remind the police this is not about your authority, it's not about young people, it's not an investigation, it's a conversation. Inclusive, inviting everybody in. Some people are more silent than others, but giving them the opportunity to share their views. Being compassionate. This was so important in this process. Being compassionate and empathetic. The young people having to see where the police is coming from, what challenges they might face, why they might be a bit defensive or aggressive one day. Why they might have to take certain procedures for their own safety. Young people had to understand that, and the police also had to understand the challenges that young people face. Authenticity. As you see already, I like to, have a joke here and there. If that's a part of your personality, let it go. Be yourself. Be authentic. Be real. It might be controversial, but as long as it's communicated in a politically correct way, we invite it. Okay. And again, being a good listener, very, very important. We looked at this list and asked everybody, what does that mean to you, being a good listener? And I remember a young person shared a quote that some people listen to respond and not to understand. And I'm like, I want him to be president. That was just beautiful. Some people listen to respond and not to understand. And often when we listen to understand, we have to say, could you rephrase that? Because we might be understanding something other than what they're trying to convey. So instead of jumping to a conclusion, just ask to rephrase that, etc. So also the ability to create a safe space. Each and every one of us in this room is responsible for that, for creating a safe space. We're all a part of making that possible. The ability to hold people account also. There'll be some things said, you will hear something rude, and we have to actually address it. We actually have to address the young people sometimes saying it's not fair to say that, it's not right to say that. So holding people to account, ability to ask useful questions, right? Useful questions. We always say no question's a silly question, but whilst we're here, if there's any question that you have, because I know there'll be questions at the end, do think about it and use this opportunity to ask a useful question. Because often it's once you've gone home, you're like, I should have asked that handsome young man. Mark, I'm speaking about me, by the way. What I would like to do is just invite you to participate. I just want to invite you to be present in this moment with us. And when I say participate, I literally mean being willing to go a bit outside of your comfort zone. This is what we asked of the youth, and this is what we asked of the police. And to truly experience the marvel that took place, they both had to be willing to go outside of their comfort zones.